Look at that, the Desert 400 from Bahrain. Pit window is open. Jamie Whincup led the race. He has just served his compulsory pit stop. Also in the man that was second, Russell Ingall, and Craig Lowndes therefore takes over the lead of the race. He's yet to pit. James Courtney has been in. So also Rick Kelly, Greg Murphy, Todd Kelly, Mark Skaife is in. Michael Patrizzi and Andrew Thompson all serving their compulsory stops. Mark Skaife really struggling early on. Lots of damage to the back of the car yesterday, and he's not really made a huge amount of progress in the early laps of this race.
Bringing Lowndes in next lap.
And a very, very close situation coming out of the pits here. Greg Murphy in the end has to back out and slot in.
I think Murphy's been a bit of a loser in that process because he was looking pretty competitive and he's now buried behind some cars. So I think he might have had a tardy pit stop in the sprint gas car 51.
I think you're right. He was in the top 10, wasn't he, in the early laps? Yeah. He's come out way, way down. You're quite right. On board with Winterbottom, Shane Van Gisbergen peels out of the way. Craig Lowndes is in as well. So we had both the Team Vodafone cars then to serve the pit stop. There is Lowndes down this very, very long, very wide pit lane here in Bahrain, Neil.
Just to fill in the blank on Greg Murphy, I understand that he stalled as he was leaving the pit lane. That explains what happened, because that puzzled me seeing him behind those cars, knowing that he was doing a good job in the opening sequence of the race. Critical stop here for Craig.
Good stop here. Where you go?
Nice job.
One good exit there, mate. So adjust your bars.
Been good having a Team Vodafone on these tyre-sensitive circuits. And where does Lowndes emerge? Right alongside Russell Ingall, and in fact in front. But how long can he stay there on cold rear tyres? Russell tries to grab position and gets it on the run to turn 4. Nice job.
So Russell Ingall then once more splits the two Team Vodafone Fords. Jamie Whincup has a big lead once again, but Russell Ingall driving really well this weekend, runs second, and Craig Lowndes is now the third of the pit stoppers.
Boys, if Russell Ingall goes on and just happens to win this race today, it'll be a real upset for the bookies. I took a peek at the odds this morning. They've got him at 20 to 1 to win this race. Jamie Whincup was just about unbackable at $1.38.
You notice he says he had a look. He didn't put any money on. It would be a great result, though, wouldn't it be, for Russell if he could squeeze a victory out of this. But at the moment, Jamie Whincup looking so strong as he was yesterday. Stephen Johnson into the pits now to serve his compulsory pit stop.
What happened, mate? What happened?
And a replay here of Fahad Al-Musallam being lapped, got locked up onto the curb, and that, of course, hindered Jamie Whincup, didn't it, Neil?
This is why I laugh when people say to me that, you know, these things are necessarily foregone conclusions. It's sport. Weirdness can happen. And weirdness was happening there because the Team Kiwi car all crossed up on the brake approach to turn 7. And Whincup a little bit lucky to survive that one.
He's had a number of near misses, hasn't he, this weekend? Qualifying, and then yesterday in the race he had a lock-up and got all sideways at turn 1, and then his championship rivals tangled. So he really has been pretty fortunate this weekend. Of course, he comes into this race 147 points ahead in the championship. This remarkable recovery for his season, given that he missed all of the races in Hamilton after his big crash early in the weekend. But what a recovery, what a season it's been since then for Jamie Whincup. Great battle going on here as Rick Kelly tries to find a way now up and past Stephen Johnson.
The boy Steve Johnson just taking 3 turns up of roll centre.
Looking for more turn performance out of the car. James Courtney is also complaining of understeer in his car. On board here with Rick Kelly, this is turn 7, up towards the peak of the hill. Stephen Richards and Garth Tander now in the pit lane for their compulsory stops as well.
And the race order yet to pit. The top 3, Lee Holdsworth, then Paul Morris and Mark Winterbottom doing a long first stint, now up into 3rd place.
As straight as I can.
Full performance racing, keeping Frosty out for as long as possible for the time being at least.
Neil, you just meant about James Courtney complaining of understeer. The team have asked him to go up 2 clicks at a time to the rear bars every time he's in a straight line.
And Garth just pops out there behind Stephen Richards. And Winterbottom playing the long game. FPR almost invariably always do that. Side by side here, Stephen Johnson, Stephen Richards. Whenever they've had a tough day at the office, they typically run their car long, try and keep clean air around a fast car for as long as you can.
Tander here looking for a way past Johnson, coming out of turn 4 through the left kick at 5. Paul Morris ahead now. Mark Winterbottom, this is the fight for 2nd and 3rd on track. They've yet to pit, remember. Lee Holdsworth leads and has gone across the line, so he's not coming in this time around, nor is Morris, nor is Winterbottom. But this time around, I think that Mark may well be close enough to think about having a go at turn 1. It bit him yesterday on Tander, of course, when he went onto that dirty line to try to gain a place. Is it going to be clean as a day? Through on the inside he goes. Morris tries to stand his ground alongside him, but Winterbottom goes through. Clean pass up into 2nd place there. Kink at 5 and down the fast straight towards turn number 6. Mark Winterbottom now should have the pace in that car to pull away from Paul Morris. We've still also got Jason Bright, Will Davison, Michael Caruso yet to pit. They're rounding out the top 6, and the leading pit stopper is Jamie Whincup ahead of Russell Ingall, then Lowndes, then Courtney, then Stephen Richards. On to lap number 11 of 32 here, the 2nd of 3 races here in Bahrain, the 3rd visit to the Kingdom for the V8 Supercar Championship, and Ford Performance Racing, having won the previous 2 rounds. It's still looking good this weekend for Ford, but Team Vodafone in charge. Jamie Whincup winner yesterday, leading at the moment. Today's race not quite as frenetic early on as yesterday's was, but still we've had some great racing, some good battles are still raging on, as now Rick Kelly tries to find a way past Stephen Johnson as they make the run down towards turn 6. This is the battle at the moment for 14th place. Tander currently down in 18th, having of course served his compulsory pit stop.
It's a big relief yesterday for Team Vodafone to put together that strong performance, particularly off the back of what happened at the beginning of the 2007 race weekend here. It was an absolute shocker.
Hey Neil, they say every day you go racing you learn something. Well, the Sprint Gas Racing boys have laid out today after the nightmare they had with Jason Richards' car yesterday. They have all their panel gear ready to go, right down to the tin snips and the big sledgehammer.
They've got some serious weapons lined up there, but it's an important point. Sometimes when you put together a championship campaign, you grab a point here or there. It's as a result of some quick thinking in the pit garage and rectifying problems quickly, efficiently. A while ago, I remember being at one of the race meetings where all of a sudden something was required to be retrieved from the belly locker of a transporter, and once you have to go through that process, you're burning a huge amount of time. Lee Holdsworth is the race leader by just a fraction under 6 seconds from Mark Winterbottom. They're yet to serve their compulsory stops.